Hello everyone, this is Tony. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Trophy Travel Experiences. And thank you for all the subscribers that have been viewing my channel. I try to put out some videos that are interesting and give you some tips. So this video is on what to do in Montreal. And I'm going to kind of divide it into two parts. First is kind of what you can do for free in Montreal, and then what you need to pay for. So let's start by a general comment. Montreal as a city is very friendly. I find the people very friendly. If you're concerned about the English language, most people in Montreal do speak English, although they're more comfortable in French. And so sometimes Montreal, but in particular France, gets this reputation of being uppity. And now that I've been to Montreal and France a little bit more, I think understanding of them is a little bit better. It's not really that they're trying to be uppity, or at least maybe that's not what currently is the trend. But I think a lot of times we forget that a lot of them are French speakers and English is their second language. So they're not feeling that comfortable in English. And so I think you have to keep that in mind. They're not trying to be uppity, they're just uncomfortable with English. And so be patient with their English. It may sound like they're very fluent, but they may feel uncomfortable. And that's what I find generally with people in Montreal and also particularly in France. I think they think their English is worse than it is, but their English is actually very good. And just think about it this way, you know, when people come to North America, we always tell them, hey, speak English. You should be speaking English, or you should learn English because you're in North America. Well, when we're in Quebec or in Montreal and we're in France, maybe we should also take that same approach. Maybe we should speak their language, right? At least try. And so I think that's the first kind of tip I would have is when you go to French speaking or other places that speak a different language, be respectful and just try to, I mean, no one expects you to be fluent, but try to be at least polite and try to learn a few words. I know a lot of people say that, and I used to think that's kind of silly, but it really goes a long way to just show some respect. So it's very easy. Instead of saying hello, say bonjour in the morning or bonsoir at night. Instead of saying thank you, say merci or merci beaucoup. It's very easy. Or instead of saying bye, say au revoir. It's very easy. And I think that just shows that you have some sensitivity that, you know, North America or English speaking people are not the center of the universe. So I think I hope that's a useful tip. Next free thing that I think you should do is to go down to Old Town, Montreal. It's only about 4 or 5 blocks, but it's really walkable. It's a cobblestone pavement. It's really nice. There's lots of places that you can take pictures at. There is the Notre Dame Cathedral, which we'll talk about later on this video, that you have to pay to go into. But there's another church or chapel that you can go to that's very close by that's free, and that's called the Notre Dame de Bon Séjour chapel, or the Sailor's Chapel. It's called that because they've got a big Virgin Mary on top of it, and she welcomes the sailors. And then right next to that place is another place called the Bon Séjour Market. And that has a lot of history. That used to be kind of where Parliament was at one time. So all that is free. It's now kind of a mini shopping center with artisan kind of crafts. So we can go in there and take a look at that. Right along there's a port area which you can walk to. Again, if it's a nice day, you can do that. And you can get right up and close to the St. Lawrence River. So all of this is free. Now let's talk about things that you would have to pay for. So one of the highlights in Old Town is the Notre Dame Cathedral. You can go in and pay admission. I think it is well worth it. I think it's $14 or $15, but it's well worth it to go inside. They don't have an audio guide, but it is quite dynamic. They also have a light show at night around 6 p.m. called Aura. I think it's about $30. Personally, I didn't think it was worth it because to me, it's, I guess, just a light show with sound. But I think it's magnificent, and it gives you an opportunity to go into the cathedral at night. So I'll leave that up to people to decide if that's worth it or not. If you're there while it's in hockey season, go see a Canadiens game. Even if you go to nosebleed seats, it's worth it for the environment. The Montreal Canadiens is a very storied hockey team in Canada. Whether you like them or not, it's a magnificent atmosphere, and it's the people take their hockey really seriously in Montreal. So I think that's really attending it. It's a really big deal, and you'll see the vibe of the city and how we think we're crazy about hockey here in Vancouver with the Canucks, but I think it's a different level in Montreal. I was there for a game, and it was a really great atmosphere. I really enjoyed it. The other thing about Montreal, which I really love, is it's very walkable. It's walkable either when it's raining or when it's not. When it's nice out, it's great. The whole downtown core is not very far. You can walk almost everywhere, so that's great. Even if it's raining or it's cold or it's snowing, they have this underground passageway which leads to everything. So I think it's a very walkable city, and that's really nice. The people are nice. Again, they speak, most people speak English. They're a little shy about it, but they will be able to converse in English. That won't be a problem. They're very friendly, no attitudes or anything like that, and I find them in fact quite friendly, so that will not be an issue, and the food is great. So everything about the city I think is really enjoyable. As to where to stay, I've stayed at two different places. In the downtown core, if you want a more corporate or more like a regular hotel, I've stayed at the Embassy Suites, which is great. It's kind of a mid-level hotel. It has Embassy Suites. If you're familiar with their hotel chain, they usually have a little bit of a cooking area. So, if you want to cook some food or cook breakfast, you can do that. So it's kind of nice in that area for families. I also stayed at Hotel Nelligan, which is the #1 rated hotel in TripAdvisor. It's in Old Town. Magnificent hotel, but it is a boutique hotel, so it's not going to have don't expect the Grand Hyatt or a Four Seasons or a Fairmont. It's great service, it's got great food, but it's more boutique like, more I would say limited services than a chain hotel. But that doesn't mean that they don't have services. The people there are very nice, very friendly, very knowledgeable about the area. So I would highly recommend that, as long as you are prepared for that. Because people have to actually understand sometimes the expectation is very important. It's not that it's a good or bad hotel, it's your expectation of it. So if you're expecting like a Four Seasons with 24-hour dry cleaning and 24-hour room service, that doesn't happen. This is a boutique hotel, a smaller hotel, which is going to focus more on your personalized service. The service standard is very high. I didn't find the facilities too limited, but of course it's not going to have as big a gym as Four Seasons or Marriott. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and hope you will continue to travel. Until next time, happy travels.